to have intro, so did like a cool. This is the intro. Like we just talking about like the New York stuff, so it's all good. How you been, man?
I've been okay. I am working hard,
Just
making
okay.
progress. Yeah, okay. I'm always straight about it. I'm only okay at the moment. Had a long weekend. Worked all day Saturday, Sunday morning. Took some time off. Most of the day actually, rest of the day on Sunday. So that's good. And now I'm getting back in the swing of things today. So it's good.
What's the podcast? Obviously, is not your usual podcast where we talk about Undock, but I do have to talk about Undock a bit because
No,
you're such a you're such like a beautiful company to me. So
thank
we're
you.
not gonna talk about it, but we are gonna talk about it a bit. So what's when you're like your day off? You say on Sunday. What do you do like now? Like you don't code. So what do you do?
Oh, so I'm an old man, as I mentioned. So this Sunday I went to the grocery store. I went to drop off a package to FedEx, and then I also went to the convenience store, and then I came back, and then I cooked, and then I got my girlfriend into The Wire. So that was
The
the
Wire.
Sunday.
Phenomenal
That's pretty
show.
cool.
Yeah,
But you
yeah, she
are
had
you
no idea.
are you like the type of guy who actually listen to show before 9 like p.m.?
Oh yeah, I
Oh
started
wow.
watching it. What time did we get back from all that stuff? Oh, actually, we also went driving around neighborhoods looking at houses that we can't afford.
That's always a
So
great
that was about
activity. I love that activity.
yeah, that was about
Hey
2 hours.
Nash, where's your red chair?
I'm sitting in it. I just have a cover on it. So over the winter, I had a heater right here, and it started to mess up with the leather because I'm right by the door. It's pretty chilly over
Okay.
here, and it started eating up the leather in the chair. So I put a cover over it. Same red chair, but until I stop using the heater, which I'll probably be using until June, yeah, it's gonna be black.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
because that red one was like I need a red one just like that.
it's still here. It's underneath here. I can't take the cover off very easily, but yeah, it's underneath there.
So I was living in New York. Is everything good now?
Well, people are going outside prematurely. People are, eating in restaurants prematurely. People are getting their vaccines, which is good. I have my appointment tomorrow for my
Oh,
first shot
Congrats.
of Moderna, getting that Moderna strain. And yeah, I'm still not going to go outside after that. Just, we'll see what the efficacy actually is after a few months of people getting it, and then I'll determine if I go outside and meet with people.
and what's your day like now? Like I know like you are you like fundraising right now again, or are you just like ed down like trying to launch product? Like, can you talk about it, or you're not
When
allowed to
does
talk
this
about it?
podcast release?
Huh?
When does
Whenever
this
we want it
podcast
to.
release?
Yeah,
I
she
am
got that
heads
right.
down
Well,
on product. I am not fundraising.
we're gonna release it in a month. Are you like? Is it the same answer?
I will be done fundraising.
This man is
That's
never
like
not
what
fundraising.
the?
I love this question
I'm
specifically for him
I am not
because
fundraising.
he is so enigmatic that people just want to throw money at him all the time. So he could not be fundraising, but he's bilaterally
Yep.
fundraising.
Yes,
Hey,
that's a good answer.
last question about Undock for now. Like, where's my app?
Wait,
Yeah,
you
where's my app too? My goodness.
mean
You s-
this one right here?
Ooh,
Yeah,
look how fresh that is.
Oh, that one? You want that app?
yeah.
We want that app.
This one?
You see that over here? You see that?
You
I don't
got
know
the
if you.
space for it. It's coming.
Yeah,
It's coming. It's
it's
coming.
right here. It's
It's coming.
that's the
I will get
Undock
it to you.
space.
My goal is to get it to people by Friday, hopefully. Our
Ooh.
iOS developers contracted COVID, and
For real.
yeah, yeah. So
Let's let's talk hockey a bit.
this is
Let's
like
talk
the
hockey
fourth
now.
or fifth person on our team that has gotten it. So
Really?
we've
Oh,
got like yeah,
Is it all the
like a
Ukrainians?
third of us have had COVID.
What?
Some of the Ukrainians and Priya got it here in New York too. So
Oh my goodness.
wow.
yeah,
let's talk hockey a bit. Like I know, like let's move out to hockey. So since I have like Bianca with me today, and I have you, so when is the first time when is the last time you play hockey? Because I know you love hockey. Do you
The
just
last
watch it
time
now?
I
Or you just
played
play?
hockey, ice hockey, was 2011. Was the last time I played ice hockey,
What do
and
you mean
prior to
ice
that,
hockey?
I hadn't
Is there like other hockey than ice hockey?
street hockey.
What?
Street hockey.
Street hockey.
Yeah, but that's
Like roller
yeah,
hockey? That's hockey.
Yeah, roller hockey.
Not roller hockey.
My answer for that isn't much more. Last time I played that was 2000, so it was in my apartment. 11, 12, 13, maybe 2013, 2014. I go out. I have my own net, so I go out and I shoot by myself and I stick handle by myself. But I haven't played with anybody in a really long time. And I'm also, again, theme of this, a really old man. So my rotator cuff is not feeling any slap shots right now. Is
Wow.
no.
The classic Nash.
You have to come. Like I said, like first time we talked, like you have to come to Quebec as soon as your vaccine is ready and our vaccine, because right now there's nothing. I don't have a vaccine, like nothing right now. Only my wife has it because she's a doctor. But like I need a vaccine. But as soon as we can, we have to bring you like in the wintertime over here.
You're gonna embarrass me. You're gonna embarrass me. I went
No, I'm
skating
not-
about a month ago, and it's like I don't even remember how to skate. It's like it's
okay.
bad.
It's not like
It's
riding a
bad. But
bicycle.
no, I'm okay.
It's not. Everybody says picking skates
No.
back up is like riding a bicycle. It is much harder, in my opinion, because it's just so unnatural,
Yeah.
No.
right?
And I was very sore too afterwards. I'm like, oh, I don't remember getting sore after doing this stuff. But again, old
Yes.
man. Now you
No,
got it. Now you
I
got it.
refuse to let either one of you say this. But so Nash, this is actually funny because I literally looking out of my mother's house, still have a net as well.
Mhm.
How therapeutic is taking, something that you'd done in your childhood and loved and still doing it as an adult? Like finding the space in your
It's
Brooklyn apartment to have a net is incredible.
Well, it's a fold-away net, so it's sitting in a little slim box, and I have to take it out every time I want to use it. But I haven't actually used it in Brooklyn. Last time I used it was when I was back in New Jersey. But it's amazing. Even just hearing the everybody's like, what is he doing? But that's just hearing that going is like amazing. Calling your shots. It's fun.
Where do you put the net?
Well, I haven't done it in Brooklyn because actually I do have a backyard here. It's a communal backyard. I could put it there, but my old apartment, I was literally across the street from the park, and I would just take it into the park and 10-second walk.
And
Incredible.
Were there people like coming, like try to play with you? Like, do people in the States in New York have like sticks?
No.
It's not Canada. It's not Canada where you just get like a random pickup hockey game going. The fun thing about where I had it was enclosed, like halfway enclosed, so it was almost like a rink. Not very big, but like the puck, I would use the puck and a ball. Wouldn't go anywhere. So like I'd shoot whatever as hard as I want, and it'd hit the wall, bounce around, stay in this little area. It was great. I should just go back there and play.
I have a question for you two guys. Is it fun, like I'm a basketball player by trade, like so before everything with PÜREST I was a basketball player. So I used to play to soccer and a lot of hockey too because I'm from Quebec. But is it cool like to play with only one net in hockey? Because like in basketball you can actually play a game, like a pretty cool game, like 3-on-3, like with only one like basketball and that's it. But is it cool like on hockey?
Hated it.
Only one? Yeah.
No, I hated playing with one net. I hated it. It's just weird.
Yeah, you did it for
Me too,
drills.
in hockey.
You didn't really do it for fun.
Yeah.
It was really you did it for quote unquote fun if there wasn't another goalie, and that was the practice that everyone
Yeah.
hated.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's it. And do you feel like Bianca? Are you the type of girl like going to? Let's say you want, if you come to a rink over here in Quebec, do you need to have like a goalie and be full equipped, or you like light hockey, like just like no equipment and just like go out there?
If Go ahead, Bianca. I got an answer for this, so.
If it's like a stick and puck session, so in the States, it's very delineated what you can like wear on the ice during certain times. If you're with a team, you have to be full gear usually, unless it's pre-game prep. If it's just like a free skate kind of thing for stick and puck, depending on the rink, you might have to wear all your gear, and sometimes they don't force you to. I know in Tennessee you have to wear all your gear. In New York you don't. So, but I prefer without my gear, and I prefer without a goalie because kind of as Nash was saying, you call your shots, and for me it's like a very meditative time where I just work on things that I want to work on. Also, if I hit a shot 3 times in a row, I think I'm freaking Wayne Gretzky and will have the best day of my life afterwards. So I'm very much for just like alone time without the extra frills and just give me my stick and let me have at it. Yeah. What about you, Nash?
We played post if we didn't have enough people and anybody wanted to play goalie, and that's how I came up too, because I started off and
best game ever.
It only counts if you hit the post. Only if you hit the post or the crossbar.
Oh, I like that.
Everything else is not a goal.
Crossbar?
Yeah.
You thinking the puck up without equipment?
Yeah.
There's no goalie.
Yeah, I know, but like, I'm in front of you.
No, that's all that matters. So when I started playing hockey, it was me and my neighbor Brian, and we were in a let's just say not a hockey playing neighborhood. All right, so there'd be a bunch of people on the basketball court, which I played basketball, and I don't care how old I get, I will wash you on the basketball court. I promise.
So this is great because we have a whole bunch of CEOs that have come on the podcast saying that they are absolute dynamos on the basketball court. And so once this whole thing is over, we've talked about getting all of these people together to play a bunch of basketball, do shooting games, have a dunking contest. So we better see you there.
Yeah. Have you seen like I know that there's a lot of CEO that told you like they're playing basketball and all that stuff. That's like really American. Every American like play basketball. But have you realized that I'm the only guy actually or girl that actually posts a podcast? I actually post some of my highlights and my dunk contest and my photos. Like all the people like Nash, they talk about their like basketball years. I never see none highlights. And we're like 2021 right now. Everybody got highlights. I'm the only one who actually has the credential to like showcase. Hey, I was all Canadian. Like I was the real deal.
See, I remember again, old man. They only have black and white still photos of when I played basketball.
Stop it.
in small shirts.
Yes.
What kind of shirts?
Yes. And we shot underhanded. It was a different time.
What kind of basketball shirt are you like rocking? Are you rocking the Iverson one, like a big baggy? Or are you like in the new mode of like shorter stuff, like soccer stuff? Always fit.
I mean, I'm not that tall. I'm only 5'11". My clothes fit. I didn't wear like. No, my mom wouldn't let me either. She's like, "What are you?" No.
Oh, for real?
No. Yeah.
That's not good.
Different era, man. Different era.
So let's go back to Brian and you like playing posts. I like that because I never played that. Like we never play posts in Quebec. Actually, that's not the way we do.
Because you can even do that without a goal. So we would go down into the tennis courts and it'd be me and him and maybe get one other person that might want to come down and play, and we would go back and forth and pick one post. And unless you hit that post, it was not a goal. That was it. So that's how you practice without a goalie and without a lot of people. It was fun. I probably had more fun playing post than one-sided, back and forth on the same net. But we would get big games together with the kids from the other neighborhood, the well-to-do neighborhood, and that would be full court inside of either tennis court or if you're playing hockey, obviously. That was a lot harder to get people together for that, but we would do that as well.
Like over here, we have this thing. It's like a really national thing that you come to. Let's say you come to Quebec. Every game start. I think I told you that, Bianca. Like, every game start with like people taking their stick and put every stick like in the center of the ring. Okay, and then after that you go on your knees on the ice. You close your eyes and you just like throw one stick like every side, and that's your two teams for the day. And
we did that as well.
Yeah, okay, that's how we rock over here. That's the only thing. But we have a lot of like they play what they call like deck hockey, like, but that's not like really popular, like on foot, like a running hockey, like a street hockey. But over here, it's really like when the season comes in, it's all about like go outside and go at the rink. This winter was cruel because we had a curfew actually. Like we're still in a curfew over here, so we have a curfew, so we couldn't go outside at 8 and play. So that was like really big for people because they couldn't go like outside and play hockey like this winter. So that was bad.
That's another thing. There's only a handful of outside rinks anywhere near me. I don't know about you, Bianca. I think she's frozen.
She might come back. So yeah, I don't know about her, like, but for me, the cool part of Quebec is that like from like 3 minutes ride from my place, it's about like I think we got like 5 rinks. So it's like there's rink everywhere. Over here is like everywhere there's a ring, a bit like a basketball court in the States where there's always a basketball.
Exactly.
Over here it's exactly that, like a like good heights and stuff like that, like every time. Do you have like, those type of where you at, Bianca?
In Tennessee?
No, not in Tennessee.
No. So there was where I grew up. It was the town over from me had an outdoor rink, but it was like the scary kind of outdoor rink in the sense that there wasn't glass. There were cages. And that was the only outdoor rink I ever played at. And that's the only outdoor rink that I ever got really hurt at as well. So I took a bad hit and I hit the chain link and kind of whiplashed my neck. So I don't have the biggest affinity for outdoor rinks. Like the idea of you having these rinks in Quebec that you can just walk up to sound really beautiful to me, but I'm terrified of skating off the edge. Like I'm terrified of just doing something dumb, like trying to stop and then falling off the side. So the whole ideology around outdoor play being just a way that you are able to engage with your friends is so foreign to me. Also for the thought that, you know, at least in my career, hockey turned very serious very quickly. Probably at the age of 7 is when I quit every other sport. So the idea of playing hockey just for funsies with your friends went out the door very early on. So like when Nash talks about going out in the street and playing, I don't have those same memories. I have going out and training.
That's insane for me.
Oh,
yeah, that's insane for me. Like for me, like back in the days, I was playing hockey like on a real team too. Like, but some of my buddies like didn't have that opportunity to go out there. Actually, I had like no money, so my mother was like, "Yeah, I don't know about this. Like, you're not. I didn't make it to the top team of the region because I had no money like to go and travel. So I had to travel with my buddy. That was like one of my best buddy, but he was not as good as me at hockey. But I played like the C level instead of the A level just because I had like no one to bring me to like those places around. And my mom didn't have the time and the money to just drive me around town. But we always like had like some friends that we put the net in the street, so we play like that a bit. That's just the normal thing for us over here. And then after that, we had like that place that we go like every night. We just go, and it was mostly like people that didn't play like in real team and stuff like that. So kind of like mixed up of people, and you always play against like the big boys from the neighborhood and stuff like that. So, but over here there's no contact though. It's really like a safe game. Like playing outside is the safest game you can get. Like there's no contact, no high stick. Like if the puck goes up more than this, people are gonna tell you like, what you doing? So that's what I was talking about, like Nash, like
the raising it
in the crossbar.
Yeah, not a game we play in Quebec.
No. You never like put the puck never goes like higher than this, like
Can I tell you?
I'm ready.
Can I tell you? No mask, and I took we'll call it a slap shot, but it wasn't really that hard. Puck to the face, right to my nose, and I haven't been able to. Although lately it's been coming back a little bit. I think maybe it's staying out of the pollution from COVID, but I have not had a sense of smell since I was like 13 because of that.
I did not know that.
I was gushing. I mean, it's a puck, right? And it wasn't like a street hockey. It was an actual puck, it was like right there.
Yeah, but we can see like on the podcast. We're gonna have the video on the podcast. We can see your nose actually right now. It's kind of crooked, but
Cold-blooded.
One cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Two. I've known this man for 2 years, and I've never noticed that.
Yeah, I got hit right there, and it was just gushing.
Okay, but like
gushing, and
that's like a sign of a true hockey player. Like,
yeah, but that was also another reason why my mother didn't let me play.
that makes
right.
yeah.
So she took that whole tactics where she was like, "Well, you can play, sure, but you got to buy all of your own equipment." I'm like, "I'm a hustler, of course. I will go buy my own equipment." Got all my own equipment. He's like, "Yeah, you still can't play. Sorry."
She tried to swerve you, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Did you play on a real team? Like, because
no,
I don't remember when first.
She didn't let me. She did not. My mother did not allow me to. No.
So where did you play hockey? That's like incredible for me. Like ice hockey, not like the other stuff. Like ice hockey.
My friend Brian, the one that we learned how to play hockey with, he went all the way up to the practice squad for the Trenton Titans, which is the minor league team for the Flyers, I believe, or one of them. I don't know if they're still there. So I'm going along with him all along on this journey. Just like you, like except I'm the one that's not good, and he's the one that's good, that's going everywhere. It's like, come on, we gotta go play. We're gonna play. And also my other friend, which I can't remember his name now, which is kind of sad. He was really good too. He was like a little, I don't know who I'd compare his style to, but he was. His name was Randy. That was his name, Randy.
Black kids? 3 black kids?
Brian was black. Randy was very, very not black. He was very white. Very, very white. And Randy was extremely well-to-do. His family was like, he got me like tickets to any hockey game that I wanted to go to. He's like, yeah, we're gonna go. You want to come? Like, so that was the pocket. Those two people were like all in on hockey. Brian he didn't end up making it, but he ended up becoming an instructor, and still probably really close with. Whatever the Trenton Titans practice squad or minor league affiliate was, he was playing on that team. I think it was like the Rail Riders or something.
The Rail Riders are out of Worcester.
No,
different ones.
Something else. Yeah.
No, but that's still impressive.
What about your basketball? Like, did you play like for your like varsity team and stuff like that?
No, I played varsity soccer. So
that's right.
He's a soccer boy. He played everything.
You're the perfect guy for pure instinct. That's what we talked like the first time we talked. Actually, you like you can be perfect for this sport. So you play soccer in like just street basketball.
No, I was on teams for basketball. So here's my full athletic story. I'll give it in like 60 seconds.
Give us an intro. Give us an intro.
It was 60 seconds. So I was like first or second grade when I got introduced to sports, like organized sports, and I was terrible at all of them. Right. Then the following summer, I was like, I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna play. Came back, aces. Good at basketball. Good at soccer. Like making all the travel teams, getting recruited especially for soccer, because I was, before I became an old man, extremely fast. Then I became an old man. So I'm playing all these sports and kind of deciding in my mind at that time, I'm actually going to be a professional soccer player. I'm like, I'd score like 3-4 goals. Like they're just like, just give the ball to him. In basketball, so I wasn't that tall in basketball, but again, really fast. So I was the point guard and also could shoot a little bit. If we were like losing in a basketball game, you know what the plays were for the coach? It was just, he just put this on his belly. It's like, give the ball to Nash, let him go do what he's got to do, and that'd be the play. It's like, get out of the way, either shoot a 3 or drive to the basket over and over and over and over and over again. All right? So, but then people started catching up in height and speed, right? And that's when I started to lose some of my edge. But then when I was 12 or 13, I was in the middle of a game, and I had this like reaction, and it turned out to be, after a bunch of tests, exercise-induced anaphylaxis, which means if you exercise too much, you're going to go into anaphylactic shock, right? So, yeah, which is like, oh, wait, I'm going to be an athlete, and this is what you're telling me? And the doctor was
like rewind that, that's huge for me. Like, so you were like 13, and what happened? Like in a game, you had like a shot or what?
It was in a basketball game. I started to feel like kind of itchy, and they were like, oh, maybe it's just a rash from your clothes or whatever. Like, I was becoming a man. I started washing my own clothes at that time. We're like, oh, it must be the detergent. That was the first time. Second time it happened again, they're like, yeah, you need to go get that checked out. All right, went to the doctor, took all these allergy tests. Like, oh, you're allergic to shellfish too, by the way. Like, all right, that makes sense. Cool. Then he said it's exercise-induced anaphylaxis. So if you exercise too much, you will go into anaphylactic shock. The hives are your warning that you are approaching anaphylactic shock.
What?
Yeah.
I never heard of that.
It is. It's a thing. Exercise-induced anaphylaxis. It's Googleable. So, at that time, I'm going into high school, and the doctor's like, "Yeah, you can't do these sports anymore." I'm like, "What?" Like, I made like travel basketball teams that are a year and 2 years higher than where I should be, just because of my speed and shooting ability at the time. Right? He's like, "You can't do any of that stuff anymore." He's like, "But, gotcha. You can do weightlifting." I'm like, 100 pounds soaking wet, or swimming. And I'm like, not my sports, right? So it's the same thing too. This is around the time I picked up hockey, picked up golf, thought about doing lacrosse as well, but had to drop all of them in my freshman year of college, like seriously drop them. And then I didn't play sports for like a year and a half, like at all. Like I would casually play like pickup basketball, but not like run. Because your mom's also freaking out at that time. But I'm like, I think I can control this. So the year before my senior year, I got back into hockey, basketball, and soccer. And I was playing rec league for them, rec leagues. And then I'm like, I have this under control. If I said I was going to be an athlete, at the very least, I'm going to go make a varsity sport. So after not playing on the team freshman year, JV year, I come in and I end up making the varsity squad. That's also after not playing like professionally for a year and a half and just doing a rec league 1 year or one season before the tryouts for varsity. And I made it. I was fucking ecstatic with, can I curse in this podcast?
Yeah, probably. I'm going to ask I have no one to ask to. Yeah, you good.
Yeah, I was freaking ecstatic about it. I still have the letter, not like right by my desk, but I know I have it in a box somewhere. So yeah, I made the varsity soccer team, got a little bit of playing time, and of course I'm a scorer. In whatever sport I was playing, I would just figure out how to get the ball in the freaking net. I know I scored 5 goals in one game for soccer, at least. My highest scoring basketball game was in the 30s. I have this one.
What's your go-to move in soccer? Like, if you score that much goal, what's your like?
Dude, I'm about to say I'm just fast. I'm so slow right now. I was just so much fast. I had to dribble past the whole entire defense. Like it didn't matter.
Mbappe style.
Yeah, just like to the net every time.
And what about basketball? What was your go-to in basketball? Because in basketball you can't go that.
I can't. Dude, this is literally the plays from like all of my teams. It's like, all right, spread. So it's just me and the guy trying to guard me at the point. Just go right by him every single time, right? Or I have a shot. I do a little jab step, top of the key three, every single time. I mean, I didn't make it every single time, but that was the play. So speed was my advantage in all of the sports.
But what happened when you say you're not that old? Like you're like 39. So
I'm pretty old. So
are you 40 more?
No. I'm 37.
He's a young man.
So like,
yeah.
So
I played after playing the varsity soccer and like figuring out how to control it. I thought about doing it in college, but I'm like, this is going to be way more intense. Like I was able to ask my coach out if I needed to get out in high school. Like you don't make your team and be like, yeah, can you take me out? I feel it coming on. Right, so I joined the Ultimate Frisbee team, which is another sport where you're like, oh yeah, I played all that. So I played Ultimate Frisbee for 3 years in college. My first year, and then my junior and senior year, I played Ultimate.
Do you like Ultimate? Like, I'm kind of like, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't.
I like you could if you're an athletic person, and you know how to throw a disc, you don't need to practice for Ultimate Frisbee. You just like show up. And that's why I was like, I don't really want to go to practice. My best parts were going to the game, right, or playing disc golf on campus, right. And and that one I did have a signature move. They called me figure 8 because I would do this little miniature figure 8 swoop in my throw, and I would launch it. I was the best launcher on the team by far.
There's kind of one thing like in Ultimate that I play like I think 2 summer. And there were a couple of things that kind of bothered me. It was like at the beginning of the Ultimate, so like a guy like me like coming from basketball, and I was kind of the guy from basketball coming to just to play to play Ultimate, and people were like, look at this guy, he wants to like to bring his. So they didn't like me, like they didn't like the fact that I was kind of like sometimes like boxing out or people like a little physical, and they didn't like that. But the one thing I don't like about Ultimate is that you cannot like run with the object. It's the only sports in the planet on the planet when you have the object, you actually have to be still, and that's something that's to me like that's counter sports like that. There's something at some point you're like imagine in hockey you can't move with the puck now, or in basketball you can't dribble. It's boring. Like basketball without dribbling is the worst sport ever. Like when the coach is okay, today we're gonna practice passing, so no dribbling. Come on now, that's not basketball. So in Ultimate Frisbee, I call that like the basketball for the poor because of that, because you can't move with the object. I really like. I wanted to like when I was coaching basketball, I was like teaching Ultimate for fun, and I was telling them you can run with a Frisbee until you get touched, a bit like in Pure Instinct. So and when you get touched, that's when you actually have to move. Because let's say a guy, I was really fast too, just like you, kind of Usain Bolt fast, like more, not really like the real like.
He just said kind of like Usain Bolt fast,
but not really.
What I mean is that you look like a guy who's like more of a like a, I don't know, like a football guy, really like going real fast on a small distance. I'm more of a guy who's gonna be good after a 20
Once you
yard
get your
like,
speed up, top speed.
Yeah, because I'm taller a bit, and that's when I get my groove. And in Ultimate, like when somebody like true like the distance to me, I was running. And then you catch it, and you're by yourself, and you're this far from the end zone, but you can't move. That was driving me crazy.
Big pass.
Yeah. The mini pass stuff. I like that. That drove me crazy. But it was mostly for me. It was mostly the attitude of people. That's why I quit on the sport. Like people were not like it was based on people not that much competitive. And when you come with your competitive spirit in that kind of sport. That's really that was not real received by people. I don't know how it was in the States, but for me, people were like, yeah, you too intense. So and they were kind of trying to do also like the plays, like they were calling like plays like in Ultimate. Like, okay, we're gonna do
we scripted plays.
Yeah, I thought I was like, well, this is like the perfect like just like go out the beach and play, and now you're gonna have the scripted plays and that 10 second like for me is like the. When people talk about like Pure Instinct and talk to me, oh, you like Ultimate? I'm like, yeah, but like they have like a 10-second like shot clock too, and we have a 0-second shot clock, so it's way different like in decision making. So that's but did you like it? Did you like the kind of the overall thing about Ultimate? Because I know there's kind of I don't know if they're gonna get that big of a deal in 20 years.
It's not like they had to force me to like come to practice and sometimes go to. I was just like, it's cool, right? You go out there, just play, and then just be done with it. I'm like, what am I practicing? To be honest, my forehand needs a lot of work. Still needs a lot of work. Like, but I don't need to go out to a field and practices were long. You'd be out there all day long for practicing.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, they were not hour-long practices. They were like 3-hour. Practice.
You have homework. You have codes to write. My goodness.
Yeah, I went to a very interesting. It was a beautiful campus, so there was like huge fields everywhere for us to practice. And again, like we would play disc golf, but not like real disc golf, like in a field. We would use the campus as the course for disc golf. We play that 2 or 3 nights a week, and that'd be super late. That'd be like 10 o'clock at night because we want to wait for everyone to be back in their dorm. And then we go out and play disc golf all over the campus. Actually, we met maybe 2 or 3 times after graduating back on campus to play disc golf because we loved it so much.
Wow.
It's really fun. I do it right now.
What is that's a perfect intro to the show. We're like 35 minutes into the show and we didn't ask our main question. So what is your purest sports moment in every sport that you play? What is the thing that you say, this is it. This is sports to me. Like this is like how I feel about what sports should be. This is it. Like this is the moment, or this is the thing.
I don't think anything can top basketball, and it wasn't even my favorite sport. Nothing can top basketball because you're in a very, very small court. Think about it. No matter how big of a team it is, it could be the freaking Golden State Warriors. You're still in this small square with 10 people, and then you're immediately surrounded by the bench players, the coaches, and all the fans. And when it gets intense, even in a small auditorium, even in a high school gym, when it gets intense, there's nothing like that feeling with everybody on top of you, especially if the game is on the line. Like, it is crazy. So that's definitely like the purest of pure sports. Like, you don't get that same intensity when you're like playing pickup ball or something like that. But being in the game, in a real legitimate game, playoffs were can I curse?
Yeah,
We're freaking insane. We're insane. I have like
I like it when Americans say "Can I curse?" and after that they say "freaking." Is that a curse? Freaking?
No.
No, I was gonna say something else. Like I have a monstrous trophy case, and I like can remember some of those games and like having to guard like the best player on another team and being like, oh, this is like mono stuff all the time, back and forth. Like that's the good thing about basketball is like a lot of one-on-ones, a lot of team stuff, high pace, it's all still strategic. You got to know who's the weapon for this, who's the weapon for that. And of all the like, what's that?
Let me ask you: is basketball a team sport? That much?
It's both. You especially since there's only 5 players on the court, one person can legitimately carry it. Like they're 10% of the people on the field, which is hockey's the same. But hockey, you're scoring 1-2 goals, maybe 3 goals in a game. Whereas basketball, one person can put up 50. They can put up, So
Bianca, I know it seems strange. You know me, like I'm a bit strange about like my thinking about sport, but I've been playing a lot. I've been coaching a lot, and there's something about basketball. Let's say I'm playing with you guys. It is a team sport, but since I have like a really good end-all and a really good shot, at some point I was playing college, and I told my coach, should I pass the ball? Because at some point, it's like at some point you're like, let's say there's like 5 seconds on the shot clock, okay?
Yeah.
In 5 seconds on the shot clock, if you're a good basketball player, there's enough time for you to produce a good shot. And when it was 5 seconds on the shot clock, I was like the specialist for this kind of stuff. So everybody was throwing me the ball with 5 seconds, and then I would create a quality shot. And at some point, I was like in my 4th year in college, I was like, if I can create a quality shot in 5 seconds all by myself, no pick and rolls, just like me like handling the ball or just like shooting or just driving to the basket, why can't I do that every time? Like now we have like Steph Curry, James Harden, and it's kind of like, is it a team sport or is it mostly like just like a one-on-one battle? And
that's the strategy though. That's the problem. Let's say you build a team where you have Harden who can create every single time down the court.
Yeah.
Well, they're just going to start doubling Harden. And then when they double Harden, he's going to have to pass it off to the next best player on the court. So now it automatically becomes a team sport because then all the weight falls on that next best player and the next best player and the next best player. And then you have to turn around. So what if Harden can go down the court and create a shot for himself and shoot 50% from the floor? If the rest of his team can't defend worth a lick and you have 5 guys that can shoot, game's over. All right? So it's definitely a team sport in all different – there's individuality in play creation. Play creation is individuality.
I would actually disagree with you, Dom. I think Nash is right in that scenario actually applies to hockey as well, right? Because I think for hockey, one of my favorite quotes and scenes in a movie actually is Miracle, of course. Herb Brooks talks about not getting the best guys, but the right guys, right? So as a defenseman, I know that I'm really strong with my slap shot if I set up on the left side, even though I'm right-handed. I know that's where I'm a playmaker. But I also acknowledge that in the corners, I might not be the strongest battling. But my defensive partner could, and she could have a weaker shot. So I think it's in kind of I also think about this with soccer, right? Understanding that someone may have better speed than you, but you might have better ball control. I think that's what I love about team sports is there is that individual component because you're on that team for a reason.
But let's say a guy like Messi and Crosby, okay? What I mean is that they can not actually take their object, puck, or ball and just decide, let me get a shot on goal. Mm-hmm. Okay? Right. It's not possible for them to do this time and time. Just let me get a good shot, good shot on goal. But for Steph Curry, like and James Harden and those kind of guy, you can actually like have a legitimate like shot on goal by them like every time down. That's what I mean by like, is it a like, I know it's a team game. Okay, I know it's a beautiful sport, but it's quite different because one guy can actually take over the game like crazy. And if you have a team, let's say I'm playing with you guys, okay, and I say, hey, today I don't care. I just go there and I just don't pass the ball. It's possible. It's a sport that it's possible for me not to pass the ball and actually might be winning the game. In other sports, team sports, you're not going to see that. So that's why I know it's a team sport. I know there's a lot of stuff coming up, but sometimes when you look at games, you're like, that do they really need like, because like Michael Jordan, they were playing like they were calling the triangle offense, okay? And before that, there was like the four square offense that was like in the history of sport, okay? And then after that, it went to triangle offense, and then after that, it went to like the pick and roll, like two guys like playing together. And now I think we're in an era that's like, we don't need the pick and roll. We just need like me like being on top. So it's like a one-on-one game. So it's kind of like a guy like I follow a lot of sport, and you know, you probably know Nash a lot about Kyrie Irving and stuff like that. But a guy like that, like, he got so much skills that you're like, take it over.
That is true. So ISO is what you're referencing, and there's a lot of that in basketball, and it is really hard to recreate that in soccer. Or there's some space in soccer. You can get some ISO, but you're not typically going to be up against the same person every time in that. But yeah, that is a big difference in basketball. Like, you come up the court and you can get isolation, and you can shoot 40 times in the game. We've seen it. We've seen people put the ball up. 40
I
times.
think it's clever what you said about the. It's one thing with basketball. I never seen that before. That energy, the energy of basketball. I think hockey has that a little bit sometime in playoffs, but the energy of basketball where you go down and there's like a momentum, and you play. I was playing college, and then sometime I still remember like the first time we went to the national championship. We're playing in a big place with 15,000 people, all against us because we were like coming to that place, Halifax. So, and we were playing as the home team, and we won that game. But I remember like the at some point the floor was shaking because like they were trying to do a comeback, and the floor. I was just a freshman in college, and the floor was literally shaking. And that kind of moment that you can have in basketball, you cannot have in other sports. I was like, this is happening, like, and you have to make those shots. You only have like 24 seconds to make a shot, so there's no like, let's take a break. There's no break. Yep. You have to like do so. There's a energy with basketball that I think you're right though. Like it's something that's really pure. Like and you that's not like the pickup game. That's really the organized high caliber game and stuff like with crowd. I think the crowd has a lot of effect in basketball. Like for the nerves.
Right there, it's the smallest court footprint wise for it's. I guess tennis is an individual sport, and actually I think tennis court overall is probably about the same size, square foot. But yeah, it's intense. I still remember those games.
That's why you're gonna love this, man. We actually, PÜREST is actually narrower than basketball, so I kind of reproduce the same because I like what you said like about the sport, but I took like, hey, let's do it narrow. So like it's so in your face because of that. So I couldn't imagine if at some point we get some crowd to a PÜREST like court, this is gonna be like, whoa, this is a bit too much intensity like for a game because of what you said. Like it's the only sport basketball only sport that it's so a small place. Like like it's so in your face. I love it.
Yeah, I loved every minute of it. I wish I was a little bit taller and didn't have exercise and do anaphylaxis, and my shot was a little bit better, and my handle was a little bit better, and I was a little bit stronger. Because then I might have made varsity basketball.
What could we do? Like we don't want to go drag too long the podcast today, but do you have an idea as a small guy like 5'11"? Did you like, man, I wish they do this for basketball so everyone has the same fair shot, because I think that's kind of that's a knock on the sport actually, that only now 6'4" and over, 6'3" and over can actually play. I think it's a knock on the sport. So do you feel sometimes I'm feeling they should put the net at 12 foot, like no dunks. Like I just don't care, like no dunks.
No, because at some point you're gonna push up against some, like, they're not gonna say, well, sumo wrestling is excluding people under 300 pounds, so we need to, like, it's the sport, it's the game, man. Tall people have an advantage in this game. Now, when society grows to where the average basketball player is 8'2" or something, then you're like, well, this is no longer basketball. This is no longer fun. We're just playing literally above the rim here. Then you'll consider changing it. But, you know, this is the game. This is the constraints, and some people have advantages. So, yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
True, the true fact is that
I've never flushed a dunk, by the way.
Never?
Just like barely.
Ooh.
So, and now I'm not even close. I can still get up there and get some, you know, grab some rim, but I'm not dunking anymore. I can't do it. Yeah.
That was a great feeling. Dunking in the game. That's always a good feeling, though.
yeah. Never. I can get it up there. Or I used to, but now not anymore. But never a flush. Like I'm up there. Like,
go ahead with your intro about NFT. I wanna hear something.
My favorite question that I get to ask is, if you, obviously NFTs are becoming quite large. We're talking about basketball, but it doesn't have to be a basketball or even a post-game moment. If you had an NFT moment where someone recorded video, audio, feeling, everything that you could own, that was your moment athletically, what would it be?
well, I'm laughing because I haven't told the story. I don't remember the story all that well. I haven't told it in like 15 years or
This is what we want.
I would tell everyone every chance that I got, like, going up in through college, but there was I don't know if it was a travel basketball game or it was something. It was an intense game. It might have been a playoff game, and we were down by, I believe, like 6 points with like 37 seconds to go, and I come down. I score 2. I steal the ball, score another 2, get the last shot for a 3, win the game. Down 6, 37 seconds, put up 7 points.
Stuff.
Some yeah, like the Tracy McGrady play. Yes, he came in, stole the ball off the inbound, put it back up. Yes. So that would be my steals. One steal. So I came down, scored, then stole the inbound, scored, then we came back, got the ball back, last second shot for the 3 to end the game.
That's crazy.
Yes.
So
I know it was 37 seconds. I know it was down 6, and I know I scored 7 by myself. That's my NFT moment. Right
Heck
there.
yeah.
Let me ask you our last NFT thing, like before we finish for today. Have you ever seen the Puff Daddy video when he's talking about, like, I'm a savage, like when he actually closed a deal, one of the first deal he closed, I think, as an entrepreneur, and he just closed down the phone, and he was like, I'm a savage. You won't see this? Have you ever seen that video?
I haven't, but I'm gonna look it up after this.
You have to. It's like one of the nicest, like, thing. Like, the guy is so intense, and he's so, like, you can see, like, he's an entrepreneur. You can see, like, all the grind in him, like, having, like, tried to do something, like, and then having that call to say, I think it was like, we're gonna have an MTV show, like, and it's like, I'm a savage, and he was, like, talking to people like, what do you need from me today? I'm gonna make it happen. And you have to look at that video. But my last question for you, and then we're actually going back to Undock. We're not talking about sports anymore. Do you have a moment like that, like an NFT moment that nobody knows, like only maybe your girlfriend or somebody that you just, like, you were in your living room on your red chair normally, and you, like, you just close the deal and you're like, I'm a savage, this is it, we're going to the moon. Do you have a kind of moment like that and you just lost it a bit?
I think when it wasn't a particular, like, one moment, because, like, when we I know exactly what I did. I don't know what details I'm going to give, but there's a song that I like by an artist that I like, and I changed the words a little bit to it to relate to fundraising, and I was definitely for a moment, and literally, my girlfriend was actually recording the video, and she's like, my favorite part about this video is like you're getting hyped for the 1 minute of the song that you're doing, and then you just stop, and then you just shut down and go right back to normal. And like that would be me. I'm like celebrating on high for like a minute, and it's like, all right, gotta go back to work.
She got the video.
She does have the video, and I'm dancing a little bit.
We're gonna see the video. Like,
I need to see those dance moves.
No.
In 10 years.
No.
In 10 years.
20.
20? All right, cool.
20.
I like that.
I have music that I made 20 years ago that no one has heard yet. So when I say 20, yeah, I'm not joking. It'll be 20 years.
You have like you do some video like pretty cool video editing too. Like you're into that stuff too. Like and music too. Is that it?
Yeah, music. I used to produce, or I still produce a little bit, but
That's
not
crazy.
in the past like 18 months have I made anything. But yeah, I've got some good stuff that will come out eventually. I got this really, really good song called One Crown with this amazing singer that I think is definitely going to go. But, yeah.
So, and what was the artist that you actually were singing and dancing on? Can we know?
Nobody knows who the artist is, so it's fine. It's a Luke Christopher song, but I wasn't singing the words to this song. I changed the words to the song, and yeah.
All right, so look out! I'm gonna tweet at you like today, like the Puff Daddy thing video. So I'll find it pretty easily, and I
have it right here. I'm gonna watch it as soon as I get off.
Oh, you have it? All right, cool. I said I want to tweet you, but you kind of like. Are you like a guy who goes like on Twitter only like once like every like 2 weeks and then you just blast tweets?
That's exactly it. I have no notifications on my phone for anything other than text messages, so I don't get Twitter mentions, I don't get likes, replies, retweets, messages. I don't get notifications for any of that stuff. I don't get it for LinkedIn, I don't get it for Facebook, I don't get it for Instagram, I don't get it for any platform, so I stay focused, and then when I'm feeling like it, I'll hop in, and I'll go, and I'll make some tweets. And it's like, last time I was on, it was not great, but I was like in the vet's office, like waiting for like an hour. And I'm like, all right, let me just get through a bunch of tweets. That's usually what I do. I'll have a session where I'll get through as many tweets and replies as possible and as many messages as possible. And then I'll be gone for like 2 weeks. So sometimes we will have a conversation. And I'll be like back and forth, and they'll send a message, and then I'm just like, where did he go? Like, I have it all off. It's all off. I did that like 3 years ago, more than 3 years ago, I turned off all notifications on my phone. It's been amazing. I highly recommend it. I
do it for everything except Twitter, like because I love Twitter, like the way that it's like spontaneous a bit. So that's kind of for me. That's my last like part of myself that's like, hey, let me keep that because I feel the platform is so funny that like I love the GIF stuff. I love like the reaction. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep that one. But the other one, like Facebook, I'm out of that. Like I can't stand what is it, LinkedIn? I can't stand their notification anyway. Like it's like, hey, you know, this girl like just like finished like school. Like okay.
Yeah. Thank you. I do love Twitter, but that's the problem. So if I had the notifications on for Twitter, then I would just wait, what? That's I can't do that. I can't do that. So notifications.
You need a burner account now. You're so popular. You need a burner account.
No, it's not because I find Twitter immensely interesting. So I do go on. I'm probably on Twitter. Especially like I have a screen here for like social and email and all that stuff. I probably go on Twitter like at least 2 or 3 times per week.
Okay.
But I'm only in that. So that's in the consumption mode. I'm only in like posting mode, like in a specific session where I respond to people or messages or tweet out stuff. And that's why you use
TikTok too.
I have a TikTok. I've never used it. I've never used it in consumption or posting mode.
Okay.
I created an account just to get my handle.
Yeah.
Just like on Clubhouse, I got my handle, and that's it. I've never partaken in a TikTok.
Oh, okay. But are you still going on Clubhouse, or are you done with it?
When people invite me to a specific session is when I go. I think I've probably used it. The first week I had it, I used it maybe 4 or 5 times that first week. The second week, maybe like 2 or 3 times. And then since then, I've probably been on Clubhouse maybe 5 times in the last year.
We're not going to talk about that today, but that's the reverse hockey stick that you don't want to see on user use normally. Like, I don't I just don't understand like what's up with Clubhouse no more, because like I'm like, everyone that I talk to have the same relationship with the app. Like, that's going like, I was on it. I think I invited you like on one of my sessions at first, and then after that, at some point I was like, hey, if I'm not gonna be able, it's kind of a tough like to be like, just when you organize a thing like a podcast like this is like pretty easy for me. Like, but some of the stuff you have to be organized. Like sometimes like Bianca, she comes in and she has actually vetted some of our guests and stuff like that, so she's really into it. I'm like, oh wow, you know stuff. But when you go like on Clubhouse, it's like you have to be organized to organize your session, so it's long. And after that, they tell you, oh, by the way, you're not going to be able to have any data of that. You're not going to be recording stuff. I'm like, I'm out.
So the thing about Clubhouse, and you just have to think about their retention curve slightly differently. So yes, it looks like high engagement in the first couple weeks, and then a lot of people fall off.
Yeah.
But all they really care about is that everybody doesn't fall off. If like 30% of users stay and they're highly engaged, even if they're not the most quality users that they're looking for, their base is just going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing. So they have this big peak and this spike, and they're not even on Android yet, right? Yeah. And I'm sure eventually they'll come to desktop. So like the rate at which they're growing, even if 80% of people fall off after a month because they're like, yeah, that was cool, I'll check in every quarter or something, they're still going to have the people that are like, oh my God, I love Clubhouse all day, every day, which, you know, that's good enough business right there. If you can get 20% of people to stay forever that sign up, you're good. So I think that's going to be their plan. It's also, I shouldn't talk about product because I'll never shut up. It's a general distribution product, meaning your grandma might go on Clubhouse and your 15-year-old high school kid might go on Clubhouse, just because the medium is chatting up with people and everybody does it. So in all languages, all pockets of the world, all different groups, economic status, like it's just talking.
Yeah, I think I'm just not the target audience, like where like I like to talk, I like to see people first. That's one thing, and I also like to chat. So there's an app that I use now. It's like Locker Room, where you can have like people chatting. And I think it's funny because people are like chatting while you're talking. And because I don't like to go into a room like I never go into a room on Clubhouse where I'm not allowed to be a speaker or like I don't have time for this. I just don't have time. And I have 4 kids. I don't like people like invite me to hey, do you want to listen into like a Clubhouse that we do like at 8 p.m. I'm like, are you crazy? Like I'm not going. Like I'm not like I have 4 kids. I have a wife. Like I have a life. Like I'm not going in unless you tell me I'm going to add values. Like and I'm going to be a panel and we're going to discuss. So for me, like and after that, you tell me that I'm not recording this stuff, so I can actually use that to like promote what I'm doing. So now that's impossible for me. So I'm not. I don't think I'm the right audience for them. Like I tried it. I might go back because everybody tells me like to go back. So I'm like, I might go back, but I'm gonna treat it a bit like Facebook. Like I'm not gonna go on the app. No, I'm not. I'm just not gonna go to the app. It's a lot of noise. But sometimes I'm just gonna go and drop stuff like on Facebook. I'm like dropping bombs like, on my stuff. I'm more like socially conscious like on Facebook for me because it's in French for me. That's my French part of my life. So sometimes I just drop bombs about like Canadian stuff that I hate and stuff like that, and that's on Facebook. Boom. But that's it, and then I don't go back for like 2-3 days because I just don't care. So yeah.
Yeah, you got your go-to platforms where Twitter's like pretty consistent. For me, Twitter's like once or twice a month I'll post. I'm gonna try to pick that up because I really do love the platform and the people on there and the connections you can make. And then LinkedIn is like twice a year. Facebook is like twice a year. Instagram for me, like another thing when I turn on notifications for all these platforms is I turned on like 15-minute limits for them. So even if I don't go in every day, I'm never on there for more than 15 minutes because you can doom scroll forever or
How can you do that?
If you have an iOS device, you just put it on there and it'll say, boop, you've hit the 15-minute limit for the app today. And at first you're just like, whatever, keep going. But then you're like, wait, no, I put this in here for a reason. So like after a month, every time I got that notification, I just closed the app. I don't care what I was doing. Like, it doesn't matter.
Is that an Undock feature or where is it? Where is that?
I think it's in iOS Health, maybe.
Okay.
Screen time feature. If you type in screen time, it's one of those settings.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I don't like Instagram anyway. So like Instagram is kind of the app that I never understood. So I'm posting a lot on Instagram because I have a company. But other than that, like I don't understand like why people are. Do you, Bianca? Are you an Instagram girl?
Nah. Yes. So I don't post a lot.
I can't scroll on there.
So I'm the worst definition of a millennial in the sense of I'm probably on Instagram, Snapchat, even TikTok, unfortunately, multiple times a day, but I don't post anything. I just kind of, like to Nash's point, I just sit and I consume, right? Exactly. Oh, yeah. But so I'm not adding anything, I'm just taking, which I acknowledge probably isn't the best. But no, right as now.
No, that's what it is. As long as the posters have people consuming, they're happy.
Right, so I'm making other people happy. I'm just not adding to society.
What are you doing on Instagram? Like, you scroll this? I just don't get Instagram.
So I scroll. I follow. I remember back in the day when with Instagram, you were supposed to have like quote unquote a good ratio where the people you followed versus what followed you was supposed to be. Okay. That more people followed you than what you followed. I have destroyed that rule many moons ago. So I follow all of my favorite sports teams. I follow people who I like hearing from. I follow college friends. I even follow people from like middle school that have somehow we found each other. And you'll never talk to them in your life, but you're just like, this is nice to see that you've become this person and you're doing things. And great. It's truthfully because I can't sit still. I have to kind of be doing something at all times. And unfortunately, social media keeps me doing that. So
I like TikTok though. TikTok is funny. It's funny to me.
It's getting the best of me.
Nash, we have to let you go. We actually broke the 1 hour barrier. I knew might have to do that with you today, but now we're gonna. If we keep going,
we'll never stop.
What's the name of the guy that do like long 3 hours podcast? The on Spotify. No, the
Joe Rogan.
Oh.
Joe Rogan.
Huh?
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. If we keep going, we're gonna do a Joe Rogan show right now, so we have to stop. And you have to send me the thing with so I can get the camera like you. I got everything.
Yeah, shoot me a text so I remember. Shoot me a text.
Nash responds to text. This is new.
He does, but like not.
Not right away, but eventually.
Do you keep your text like open?
Dude, I have 1,092 unread text messages.
That makes me so damn nauseous.
I don't know how you guys do that. Like I have only on my text, I only have like one unanswered right now. Like really? It's impossible for me. Like always open it and rewrite back. And Bianca, she's like texting me like yesterday, like while I'm Netflixing. I'm like, and I have to like just like get it out of it because I want to make sure that I never keep texts. I don't know how you do it because I don't know how you do it. How do you do it?
Sometimes I don't read them. Like
he just does it.
Like I will get a lot of text and then I'll get to them eventually.
Last question on product. Do you feel that iOS, okay, when I send you a text, you should be able to open it, read it, and then put it in a section like, 100%. Let me read that in a week.
On later. Yep. Or mark it unread. You should be able to do a lot of things in iOS.
How come? You're a product guy. How come they don't do that like on it's blowing me away. I don't understand.
They will. They just didn't prioritize the feature. I don't know. I mean, right now, iMessage or text messaging is the best delivery mechanism for any platform. Yeah. It has extremely high open rates. People literally read their text. Most people read all their text messages as soon as I usually have my phone. Yeah, it's off. Like 90% of the day, my phone is even off. Like no sound. So I even forget the fact that I don't get notifications from almost every platform. even for text messages, my ringer is
So-
off, and I don't have vibrate on either. So silent notifications.
But
for it.
now you telling me like, don't send me emails, so I got that. Like, I
He
want
does
you
not
to-
do emails. Can confirm. The
I
man
know.
does less emails
Yeah,
than
I
text
know that.
messages.
But I send you like a Undock scheduling. That's okay. Like I get that.
Show up. I show up.
What is it like? If I send you a text, I'm gonna be in that 1,000 people. Like not like how am I gonna be in your?
It's not 1,000 people, so very few people even have this number.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But like, let's say I'm in a group text, right, with like 7 people, right? I'm not reading or responding to any group
I got
text.
you.
Like, unless we're arranging to go somewhere, I'm like, cool, keep talking. I got nothing for it. So that might be like 100 messages right there from one group text.
I don't do group text. I have one group text with PÜREST, and I say to people, don't answer to this. Like, I'm just lazy right now. Don't answer to this. Please don't answer to this. No answer to this, because I don't want people to do group texting, and I think that's why you do have. I don't do group text.
Yeah.
I don't have that much friends
It's
actually.
not relevant to me unless they call. Like, even my family, they'll be like, ha ha ha, we're talking and we know he's not going to respond about this. They'll like literally say that in the message, and I'm like, cool.
Called you out.
I'll just drop that in there.
All right, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Nash.
having me, Dom, Bianca.
We'll
talk.
It was perfect. All right.
Later.
Have a good day.